Welcome back to day 8 of 30 apps in 30 days. If you've been wanting to see me struggle a little bit, then maybe this is the day. So by the end of this, we should deliver that dream. I'm at a bit of a dead end, I think. It would have been better to get the workflow down and then make it a machine. They're not quite the sort of logos that we're after. I don't want to ship this. I can't ship this. As we approach 10 PM and the deadline seems to loom, there's no way we one-shot this. We gave it a good shot. We made it through week 1. Yesterday was a bit tough, especially last night. If you're just joining us for the challenge, every day before the midnight deadline, we need an app out on production for real users to use. And we're doing a video every day to document the whole journey. So if you are enjoying it so far, do hit the subscribe button so you get notified when we drop a new video. I wanted to start off on Monday by having a bit of a brainstorm. And luckily I built an app just for that. So I got to writing. So yeah, the app yesterday that I built literally forces you to write, and if you stop writing, it starts to delete your text. So you can't go away and have a think or go and make a coffee or go and check Twitter. You have to write, all your work gets deleted. There's a timer. So as you can see here, we wrote 270 words. And yeah, I know that's obviously 5 minutes. You're probably thinking you can't write for 5 minutes. Of course I can, but usually I'd bounce around a little bit. With this, you literally can't. Try it out, rawtyping.com. It's pretty fun. Feels like a bit of a video game. But enough chit chat, let's get into today's product. So, the question on everyone's mind, what are we building today? Let's have a look at one of our projects that has done very well so far. Name Game Strong, I'm sure you've heard me talk about it. It's a domain name finder. So it uses AI to not only find a really good name for you, but it also goes and checks if the .com is available. So you don't waste your time finding a good name. So this does it all for you. It's super powerful. And I'd like to build on that. Oh yeah, we've had a good few hundred visitors come through. And we've searched nearly 30,000 domain names already. So what can we do to build on that? Alright, if you're chronically online like me, you would have seen a bit of drama in the design scene last week about logos like this. This guy Mike, he obviously made this logo and he's unhappy that it's being used elsewhere. I'm not going to get involved with that drama. It is what it is. People are going to have different opinions, but there's a lot of chatter about it. And when there's a lot of chatter about it, that's a good opportunity to build in that area because there's attention there, and if you launch an app alongside that, then it's going to get more eyeballs, more users. It's almost like reactive app development or reactive vibe coding, maybe we come up with that term. So Guillermo, I'm not sure how to pronounce the name here, but he is the Vercel CEO, so thanks for all your work, mate. He said V0 is also good for unique logo design, and that got me thinking. Logos, names, domain names all go hand in hand. Put that along with a lot of the chatter about logos on Twitter at the moment, and it creates for the perfect storm of why we should build a logo generator. Okay, so I think the way we're going to have this is alongside namegamestrong.com. Perhaps as another page. Perhaps we could join them up, but maybe not now because we need to keep it simple if we're shipping today. So I think we're going to put this alongside namegamestrong.com as a separate page. It would be cool to combine them both and get some sort of domain and image and logo generation. Maybe a premium feature coming down the line. So yeah, what would a user flow look like? Before we jump into planning the user flow here, I always like to think about the pain, dream and fix. And it's the same for content and products. So what is the pain there? And specific pain is good. So the pain for the domain name was super clear. Everyone's run into it. And it's a similar pain for logos, I think. A lot of people don't even bother with logos because it's hard to even get a good one. Do you go somewhere and find a pre-built one? Do you try and make your own, but then it looks bad? And if you don't have one, you just have a text logo, then it just looks a bit vanilla and boring. All the best companies have strong logos. So you want one, and you might try and generate one with AI, which I've done before, and you have mixed results there. And then maybe you bring it into your project and it's blurry and it's not crispy. You want your logo to be crispy. So what is the opposite of that? What's the dream? Well, the dream would be that you always have logos with your projects, even if they're just small side projects. And I'll tell you what, they're crispy, they're sharp, and they look good. And hopefully it took you very little time at all. You didn't even think twice about generating a logo for your project. So by the end of this, we should deliver that dream. So time's always of the essence, so let's get cracking. Okay, so quick user flow. The user comes to the site, they input their details about product or project. Maybe they select a style. AI generates concepts, so it will brainstorm different concepts for the logos, and then we'll do the generation, and then they can go away and use it. So tech questions here. Replicate is an image generation API, which I use a lot. I use it for my thumbnails and stuff, and you can explore a bunch of different image models. as you can see. And my mate Jesse told me that I'd get good results if I combined an image model with SVG masking, because if we just have the image model, then it's going to be blurry, it's not going to look good. So we need to do that. Or do we use what the sales CEO said with the V0 to just generate the SVG straight out of the gate? I don't know which one we go for right now. Let me play around with some of the image models, because there might be some really strong ones, and then we could do SVG masking on that. That might actually be simpler than the code gen. I don't know. They could both be simple. They could both be complex. That's part of the fun, right? That's what you're about to find out. And luckily, I'm going to be the one finding out. Cool. Generation in Org 2025 on Replicate. So funnily enough, I actually use Perplexity still quite a bit, just because it feels like a good search model. I know it's probably not the best. It's definitely not the best, but I don't know. Let me ask ChatGPT as well. Let's have a look here. Best image models, logo, SVG. Generate high quality SVG images. 194,000 runs. 12 images for $1. That's expensive. I can't be bankrolling that. Recraft, yep, V3, that checks out. 10 cents an image model. No way. And I think here when we say logo, we mean a logo. We don't mean like a logo with text on it. So really like an SVG sort of vibe. Which is a good price. Recraft is like 10 cents a pop. These models are expensive, aren't they? Okay, so Flux Schnell is $3 per 1,000 output images, which is pretty bad, isn't it? Blimey. And we could even, maybe we should run one of these on a local computer, but wow. It's great value. Let's see then. SVG logo, which is a globe. It's not bad, but then like how would we get that into SVG? My mate said I could do SVG masking from an image. What does that look like? Is that AI code or is that something else? Okay, so we're exploring this SVG masking thing now. SVG masking, replicate, Stack Overflow. Who would have thought? So it's like background removal. So you don't actually get an SVG. So I feel like the SVG thing would keep things crispy, but I feel like we're gonna be limited creatively on that. When really I think for this one, maybe we can just have something like this. Okay, so we're trying to vectorize this image, see how it goes. But if we can do that with that image generation model, it would mean that we can generate like 50 or like 20, make them all vectorized, remove the background and stuff so they can be shown on dark mode or light mode, essentially. I'm pretty sure that's what that means. Okay, so there's some models here Claude is saying about Potrace. Okay, I think the only way to know is to just get in the mixer. Let's get this running locally. Let's try and pass in some images and let Claude Code do its thing. Okay, we did use this vector magic thing, and it's vectorized it, which I guess means we can zoom in. Oh, that is actually pretty sick. That is very cool. So you can see here, like, on this side it's super blurry and this is crispy. So is vectorized and SVG tracing different things? Alright, we just got to move. This is a good example. If I was like working on this all week, I'd be like researching the best way to do it, but we don't really have that luxury. Okay, so here we are back in our name game strong directory. The code name was dosh domain for this one. Thought that wasn't a bad name either, to be fair. So we run a init, which is going to get Claude up to date with it. Oh, apparently not. Wrong directory. Okay, so Potrace takes an image, converts it to black and white, and then traces it to SVG. But what if we have an orange logo? And again, another example of how we're using Claude here to just completely blast through and figure out any domain knowledge that we might not have. Before, this could take a long time, like days of research. Finding the right YouTube video, finding the right Stack Overflow stuff, finding the right tools. And now, yeah, AI is amazing at actually writing the code, but if anything, this is more valuable, you could argue. Okay, so it looks like we've got a few different contenders here. We've got the old guy, Potrace, we've got imagetracer, and then we got this slightly newer one. But I don't think it's that new, actually. Okay, so a little bit more. I took those tools that Claude said and put them in Perplexity, and it looks like VTracer might be the best one. Okay, so here we are back in namegamestrong.com, and I tell you what, let's make a new page. So thanks first off. Have a text box. Let's just say keep it all the same for now, but just make the new page. Cool, so that's gonna get cracking with that. Meanwhile, let's try and get this to work in the CLI, so within Claude Code. And this is a really good tip. Rather than trying to get it working and testing it manually in your browser, just get Claude Code to test it within its own terminal instance, because then it can quickly run through any like strange syntax errors or connection errors. Alright, so if you're struggling to follow along like me, VTracer takes an image that we get generated through AI, so one of the like normal logos generated, and then it creates those like fine edges, and then it outputs an SVG file. So then they can be used by the end user in a bunch of different ways. So now we've got logogamestrong.com, and I think we'll just make this logos/logos or something. But I quite like it. Could work as a domain name, but can't keep spending $10 every day on a domain name. So what have we got going on? So I've got Claude researching the VTracer stuff as well. So what I'm going to do is try and get this working, and then I'll get back to you. Whilst it's doing that, I'm going to get some logo generation prompts to try out with Flux Schnell. Sehr gut. Very German. If we make 20 odd logos per person, yeah, that's a fair price. I like myself a bit of value, and that is good value there. What's nice about Replicate is we can really easily just hook it into our project with the API. So that is cool. Okay, I like it. It's not going to win any awards, but it is a unique logo that's been generated. How unique is anything? I mean, I quite like that logo. I'm not going to lie. Could be pretty sweet. It looks like a PWC. Maybe, yeah, I think that's what I was thinking of. Wow. That is a crispy logo. So again, we can tailor the prompts a bit and make them have some more rules. And I'm sure someone's already come up with some rules. Like, it's almost too detailed, this one. It looks a bit shit. Test script is working. That's good news. I bet someone has already come up with best logo generator prompt. So she does text decent, to be fair. Okay, it looks like it is running into a few issues, actually. If this doesn't work, then we've got that older one that only uses black and white. I think that is fine for now. 40,000 weekly downloads. That's crazy. Okay, that worked. Wow, that was using that older one. Wow, that is actually a crispy SVG. Huh. Okay, maybe we can use this guy, Potrace. That? Actually, no. Wait, what? What's just happened there? If I pop that in. Ah, wait, hold on a minute. Was that my CLI that just opened that tab? Where was that? Here. Sweet. Sweet, sweet. That is really cool. Nice. Original image. Okay, nice. Let's bring that up here. Let's bring that down there. Let me make this a bit bigger. The VTracer conversion is now operational. Simple logo preset, cutout style, smooth logo, minimal is too aggressive, monochrome has API issues. Test script. Next steps, integrate API route, image generation by workflow. The comparison HTML shows all variations side by side. Okay, they are there, aren't they? But, oh, well, that works. That works. Oh, that is pretty sick. So which output is best then? I'm trying to sit back so I can see what it would look like. So what was the original image? Ah, yeah, Foxy. Okay, we're going to try this other one, and then we'll see how we're doing. Alright, so let's see the comparisons here. Oh, no. Okay, so here are the comparisons. So let's open that in a new tab. That looks shit. Let's open this one. It's not great, is it? The original image isn't great either. We should really be prompting it with... Sense us going down into a bit of a rabbit hole here. 4,000 paths. So what about if we say make it a simple logo? It's not awful. You know what? Maybe the V0 would have been a better way of doing it. Make a SVG. Fair play for the animation, but looks shit. Okay, let's not do the V0 way. Okay, so I'm trying to generate the logos, and I realise we need to actually just get the logos to be good before we do an SVG. This one's fine. And I guess, to be fair, we only need 1 or 2 per generation out of 15 or 20 to be good. Okay, anyway, we've decided that we're going to use that detailed preset. Basically saying, do we need to worry about any performance? I know we're not running this as an API, but I just want to check that this is lightweight enough and not doing anything crazy. You know what, maybe we shouldn't make it so you generate 20 at once. None of the image generation tools do that, so why would we do that? Maybe we can do 3 at once, and then you can... Anyway, we can cross that path when we get to it. Yeah, alright, so now we are going to make an image testing route that's just going to test that out. So then as we generate, we can just drop them in to make sure that's working fine. And after that, yeah, right now we need to get good images to be generated. That's the next challenge. Okay, I also just realised that if I'm not going to generate loads, then we don't need to do a super cheap model. And that also means we could probably just limit it to 3 and then charge. I just hope that I'm not going to run into any big bills this project. If we do get a big bill, then at least it means that people are using it. Again, this was a tough one. So we got an error here, but it's cool that we got this UI just for testing. This could probably be a landing page as well. So let's get that sorted. In the meantime, maybe let's try another model. 33 images for $1. It is expensive, isn't it? Is there not a middle ground between Flux Schnell, $3 for 1,000? I don't know what to do. Okay, we are running into a minefield here with these SVG stuff. But yeah, I'd rather have like less volume and charge and create really good results rather than like shit logos, but just generate loads of them. And I think we could probably combine it with domain. Do $10, get your domain, get your logo, and maybe chuck something else in there. So that could work. But right now, we've not got any logos, so that's what we need to do. And again, this looks pretty shoddy, doesn't it? Detail preset, compression. I don't know. The issue here is that I'm testing it on a bad logo, but at least it works. Okay, we need to decide what we're doing here. So let's say we use that one, and then we'll upload that in our tester, download it. Let me actually just, can we make sure we can see the whole thing? It's meant to crispify it, but it's like doing the opposite. Maybe it's just that I need better prompts. Okay, so I'm gonna try and get prompts for the logos now. I've said keep them simple, vector style. Maybe that's what we were missing. So this is quite a good, let's try a couple of them. Maybe we can just have the image. Maybe that can be the logo. Let's be honest here. This one's good. That's bad. But the thing is, I can't afford to do loads of them. It's a bit of a dilemma. Shit. It's the thing when you're working with these sorts of models, image, text, whatever. If you don't get the prompt right, the whole product falls apart. So with my Twitter writing tool, if the tweets aren't good, it's just a waste of time for everyone. I don't know what to do. I'm at a bit of a dead end, I think. Let's try this SVG model. 8 cents per output image is expensive, but maybe it's really good. It's not really, is it? Is it an SVG? Yeah, I guess that's pretty cool. It's a proper SVG, unlike our fake SVGs. These are good logos, aren't they? Very nice. Circle, for God's sakes. Okay, so I've just grabbed a bunch of random logos, and now I'm going to put into Claude and say, what? Make the prompt for this. So let's see if that gives us anything. Okay, let's try a couple of these then. See if our cheap model gets any of them. It's not bad. It's much better, to be fair. So what we could do is combine these prompts with specific of whatever the user's detail is. Yeah, that's decent as well. And then how about if we drop that into a testing suite, a very sophisticated testing suite. We're getting closer. What if we just output these images? Maybe we need to do that for V1. Because these aren't actually too bad. Like, none of them are actually too bad. Let's run it on an expensive one as well. But maybe what we actually need is some sort of LoRa that is trained on like logo generation. So what happens if I run this image to image? Can't do that. It's pretty complicated, this SVG stuff, not gonna lie. If you've been wanting to see me struggle a little bit, then maybe this is the day. Okay, so what is the problem we've got right now? We've got two problems. The logos we're generating aren't that good, number one. Number two, the SVGs of said logos aren't very good. So we've got two options. A, we can stick with the kind of cheap model, which is easier, which I'd like to do. Each user can generate 50 logos and then hopefully just make their SVG thing work. Why don't we try it? Let's just try it rather than sitting here thinking about it. So let's run this with API. So again, how do we get this working? Replicate, we said run with API. Copy this into Claude Code, ask it to test it in the CLI, and then ask it to put it on a web page, and you'll be surprised at how good it can just whip that up. Also, hats off to Replicate for making it like super easy to do this as well. I'm asking the conversions to make some docs so we can basically work with that. But you know what, if we don't, I'm happy to launch without SVG mode. I could just say, if you want to use it properly, just do it SVG mode. I've also heard about this Autumn. We made Stripe easy for AI. I've heard about this, and apparently it is set up just to make it super easy. So we're going to give that a go, and I'll let you know how we get on. Okay, Airbnb logo. There we go. It's working. At least we've got something work. Okay. So yeah, I think the good flow here would be to let people just put in something random like their name, and then the value we added in the domain name finder was that we actually put together a bunch of ideas and then we use those. So let's try a similar thing. Okay, so apparently we also can't get that SVG thing to run on the cell, so I can't be bothered to set up another service for that. So we might just be getting image logos today. Okay, so now, okay, so give me a master prompt structure that I can then use to generate like different style prompts, if that makes sense. Okay, so we're gonna get a master prompt structure, pass that here. But either way, let's get the core flow working. And I still think there's value in this flow even without the SVG thing. The SVG thing may be powerful later for now, or we can just use, I don't know, we'll cross that bridge. All right, let's let that cook up and then check back on it in a second. Then we're gonna have the skeleton of the flow. Okay, here we have it. Tool that finds domain names. Let's try this. Thinking of creative concepts. Nice, that is cool. I like it. Similar vibes. I like it. And then each one, oh, that is actually pretty sick. Name is pretty sick. Let's go. Yeah, this is, I don't want to be paying 5 or 10 cents per generation. No way. I'd rather do like a bunch of these. And if we can get, we've also got this other image model that maybe will work, because that other one was not working very well, was it? Okay, you know what? This is looking promising. Thing is, could I use that as my logo if I wanted? I guess I could. I could put it, yeah, I think I could. Thing is, do I just want this bit of the logo? Things, if I put this through a remove background, it's not going to work, is it? Because it's almost like the whole thing is the logo. What about if I did remove BG for this one? Yeah, I guess that's pretty cool. So we could just remove the background and then you've got a decent logo there. So maybe in our prompt, we should make it so everything's always on a white background, perhaps. Okay, neutral backgrounds. Okay, we're getting somewhere. We are getting somewhere. So what is the learning from today's build so far? I would say I should have manually got the process working good to begin with. So I should have manually used the models, created good images, created good logos, sorry, and then made, what do I need to do to that to get it working? Can I just use it out of the box? Because I can just use the PNG rather than going headfirst into dev, which we did, and then like stalling because it's not quite right. And then we're making SVGs with bad logos and everything's just messy. It would have been better to get the workflow down and then make it a machine, which we did with the domain thing. Like I do the domain name thing, you brainstorm, you go and find the app, and then we just automated that process. Okay, let's give it another spin. A writing tool to force focus. Okay, focus lock, minimalist logo, and prompting guide. Let's just go here whilst that's generating and see if there's any docs on Flux prompting. These logos are a bit shit, aren't they? So we'll try pasting some prompt guides and see if that helps. To be honest, our first version was actually better. Nothing. Right, let's give it one more spin. Domain search, and then we're going to take a break. Are they too prescriptive now? Maybe. No, we don't want the text. Okay, so I think it will be a case of just iterating on the prompt. So I think we are in the clear, so we should be fine to ship. These are getting there, to be fair. There's some decent ones here, for example. Like, quite cool, quite funky. Maybe that is a fine logo though. Thinking of concepts. And I think what's nice about this flow is that it's taking the work off the user. With the other models, they have to come up with a prompt, and prompting is just pretty hard. So this is just making it a lot easier for everyone involved. Okay, that's pretty cool. As you can see right now, this is what we're generating. It's not very good, is it? Let's be brutally honest. Well, we don't even need to be brutally honest. Even if we're just a bit honest, it's not very good. Half of them don't show, you can see here. So what we're doing is we're using Claude Code to basically create a bunch of different approaches. So I'm saying like, oh, let's try this prompting approach. Because I think here the game is get the prompt good. So it's done some interesting prompts like these, which I actually think are pretty cool. And they're not quite the sort of logos that we're after. But you know what? I like it. But what have we got now? We've also got some of these, just different styles. Where's my most recent? Okay, so this is the most recent startup logos. Again, a little bit less funky than that one. But I think this is in a decent place here. Yes, they're not necessarily SVG, but I think for the daily ship, I think this is going to be where we're going to ship it. And again, another example of where before we might have spent a week figuring out the right SVG tracing technology, trying all this different stuff, deploying on different servers. But we're just going to ship it, see if people like this and use it alongside the domain tool. Because the domain tool, I think that was the first product where I've seen clear product market fit, where people are using it, they're getting value, they're telling me like, hey, I just got like a .com domain from this. This is sweet. We're seeing users. So we'll see if this is similar. We'll get feedback. And then, if people are saying, oh, it's decent, but this, then we can always iterate. But if no one uses it, no one even generates a logo, then we know that we don't need to pour more time in it. So here we go. I'm pretty happy with these. I like these single line marks. So we're just going to give some feedback here. So yeah, this kind of comes back to the quality of the prompt here. And I think, having a way to evaluate outputs, this is a simple way of doing evaluation. So looking at what different prompts are outputting and then judging them. So being like, okay, this one's bad, and maybe we like this one, so let's maybe do more of that. And then with AI generation products, that's super important. It's cooking up the final flow now. I'm going to remove okay, so we've got simple patterns that we've just tested there, concepts, and then the actual content of the logo is changed based on what the business does. So let's give it a spin. Here we go, logo game strong, about to go to prod, domain name finder. Let's generate some concepts. So first of all, it's going to create the concepts here. Oh, they're just not that good, are they? Ah, man, why? Just tested these. Pretty shit, to be honest. What can we do here? I don't know, team. Maybe I just need to paywall it. I don't want to ship this. I can't ship this. And which ones are acceptable? This one, kinda, this one. And that's 1 in 3 or 4 in 20. And I'd be better off. What's the point of even generating this? I could just have preset SVG shapes. Because that's all these, aren't they? Do we even need AI to do this? They're just like random SVGs, aren't they? So I'm basically saying now, a bit of a weird one, but I want to do a new test. Can you use Claude Code? So I'm going to ask Claude Code to make logos that look like these ones. They are just SVG shapes. I don't even think we definitely don't need to be paying like 10 cents a pop, I don't think. I mean, let me try with a more expensive model again. I could definitely create SVG logos. Mr. Confident over there. Okay, I've also had another brainwave. What about if we do an image to image sort of vibe? So we download that, bring that into Replicate. Let's drop that in there. And it's going to use this as a source. Not quite. Give it another shot. Let's see how Mr. Confident is getting on. Let's see what you got. Okay, we got these. Again, they're not great. Let's try and push them again. Okay, so I'm just on Reddit. And someone tested all the big AI models for creating logos, and basically they all look pretty rubbish. And someone said they all look terrible. Why is AI so good for image generation, and in terms of branding or design it's terrible? But for $60 you get a human who will slap 2 or 3 vector graphics together. Every single one is uninspiring and boring AF. Yep, pretty bad. So it actually looks like a bit of a pain point that a lot of people are having, to be fair, more so than I thought initially. I don't know why, but I do like these ones. I know they're not really logos, but they're all actually quite high quality little icons. Maybe we need like a Laura. Oh man. Okay, I'm losing a bit of patience now because they are so bad. So I'm actually wondering, is the prompt getting messed up? Why is it only making a circle? Are we overloading this model? Maybe we're just overloading the model. Oh, there, you can actually see it. As it stands, logo game is not strong. Okay, so hopefully now we can add the logs, but you do win some and you lose some. And today, maybe we are taking a bit of an L here, and we're not even got any logs. Right, we're just testing a bunch of models now. We're just shooting from the hip. But this Google model, Image Gen 4, actually doing a decent job, but let's test it with a few different. Ideogram 3, no, that's a bit rubbish. Explore image models. We can't pay 8 cents an image, that's crazy. Let's just try these all with the same prompt. But maybe we need a better prompt. These are actually decent, These are actually decent. So that's pretty good. It's crispy, right? If I charge someone like $5 for the domain and logos, then I guess they could create. The domain is pretty much very low cost. They create like 150 images, which is, if you need an image for your company, then that you will be able to get a logo for then. But if that's the case, then maybe I should try this SVG one. And I know this video has been quite a lot of back and forth bouncing around. I think the question here is we needed more clarity in our model. Do we go free and just give like we've done with the domain? So that this SVG one, that is actually really good. And what's even better about that is that it is scalable, clean logo. That is bloody good. I just want to wrap it up though. But yeah, and if we do this, 8 cents a pop, that is expensive. If I knew they were all going to be really good, then I'd be down. Not all the videos can be just lovely one shot, easy projects, can they? That make for a bad video. So that's what I'm telling myself right now as we approach 10 PM and the deadline seems to loom. I'd pay $5 for a domain and logo. I'd pay $10. It saves me a lot of time. I think what I'm worrying about is the auth and payment nightmare that I could be entering the room with right now. Here's the thing, when I do Schnell just in here, it actually works quite well. These are all actually decent logos. Maybe not that one. The thing is here, like, I can generate a bunch and not have to worry. Alright, let's put the 30 minutes on the clock and try and set up this use autumn thing, which is supposedly... Do we do it? I don't know. It's supposedly like super easy shot for AI. Apparently in 30 minutes. Do we do it? Okay, so we're going to try and implement this. So I've given it docs. I've basically said make a plan and let's see if we can get pricing up. If not, then we're just going to have to work with the cheaper model and put this one down as a meh product. And it'll be cool to rank them all at the end. Be like, what are the best products here? And do a bit of analysis. Get to the drawing board. Okay, so it thinks that it has done the flow. Let's see here. Okay, so apparently we don't need auth here, which is very cool. Let's go, what have we got here then? Let's try it on logo. Logo generations, main search. No way is this gonna work. Okay, let's try again, but I'm very close to calling it quits. Okay, I think it gave me one more logo generator. Does this mean it's working? $5 per additional logo. So it did actually work, to be fair. I'm impressed. Okay, so $5 a month here. Let's get Pro for $5 a month. Seeing this issue. Okay, let's see if this is working now. There we go. Look at that. Logo generation's 22 left. Domain search is 9999. And let's see domain finder. Is that going to work? Is that going to take them off? It hasn't taken them off. And is the logo generation going to work? This is super impressive. Use autumn. Wow. I'm tempted to say paywalls on every product this week. What do you reckon? I'm tempted. So this should take off. Took off one. Oh my god, focus. Oh, do we add clerk in? But it's crazy. Look at this. This is dev onboarding. This is vibe code onboarding. What a world we live in right now. Okay, another one shot. There's no way we one shot this. That'd be just ridiculous. That'd be ridiculous. It will. Oh my god. If you're watching this and you're a dev thinking, oh, why is this guy getting so excited about auth? Or if you've never vibe coded at all and you're wondering why is this guy getting so excited about logging in, just trust me. Any vibe code and a lot of devs have had a lot of bad blood with authentication. So when it works like that out of the gate, not to mention this stuff as well, whew, that's nice. That's real nice. There's no way that this is going to work as well out of the box. There's no way it's just going to all work together. It can't be this easy. There's no way that's going to go up to 20 generations. Oh my god. What I need to do is just write down the best vibe stack, where things just work, getting projects set up, getting payments and auth working, because this right here, this is what it's all about. When it just works. Okay, that was way too easy. Deployment will probably take us half hour, which gives us 15-20 minutes to get our premium image generator in and get some prompts working for that. But I think that should be pretty good out of the box. 10 cents a generation, so I don't know. It still feels a bit tight. Okay, let's, very nice, all working. Okay, let's go raw type in and figure out how we want the payment and first user experience to work. It's getting late now. I don't know if we're gonna make it. We might just need to launch with the free generator. I don't know. This is pain. Alright team, we are really flirting with the midnight forfeit here. I'm not gonna lie. Domain search is unlimited. Please I think something dumb I've done here is made it a fancy freemium experience, and I think I might regret that. Okay, so as I said earlier, we're using this high quality 10 cents an image bloody expensive. We've got 20 minutes to push this to prod and get this new model in. I'm stressing as I say that. Let's just flip and get it going. Okay, that's doing a bunch of build shit. I just think we've got to sprint to production right now. Wow, lots of TypeScript issues. This is just churning away here. Oh, come on, 15 minutes. Let's try and push this. Pushing products. How do I push to the prod? That's built. Come on, we got it. 11 minutes. Okay, so we're going for the last 10-minute scramble here. We're pushing to prod. We're trying to push our product still in a sandbox environment. And last but not least, we're trying to make sure that this is working. Domain logo generator, domain finder with our new SVG thing. So we're going to do that. Put that back there. Restart server. That should work fine though. Okay, whilst it's doing that, we need to production. Oh, these aren't the SVGs, are they? Oh, they. Got it. Oh, that's not good, is it? We're getting build fails. Prompt test. Alright guys, I think we're throwing in the towel here. We gave it a good shot, but look, our logos aren't good enough. The paywall's scrambled. I think we're going to take the L here, which means tomorrow we spin the forfeit wheel. Yeah, to be honest, I don't want to put up a paywall. Yeah, we went for the more expensive model, but as we saw there, even that wasn't good. So I wouldn't want to be charging for a model that isn't doing it. I do think there's still a good use case there, but as we saw, people struggle with the logos. I'm glad we gave it a good shot though. Clerk, hats off to you. Really easy to set up. If we had a bit more time, then we could do it. And I think I'll still add that paywall to the domain flow one. For now, logo game strong. We took an L there. So I'll catch you tomorrow, hopefully for a good regain there. But that's part of the game. All the best.